Good morning, lovely people. Welcome to another video. Today, I thought I should go through my year of sales a little bit and just let you know what my top 10 bestsellers at markets were, and also my bestseller list of patterns from things that I released this year. So if that sounds good to you, grab a drink and let's get into my bestsellers of 2025. So I will caveat this by saying that I did a big cat market this year. So I am going to give you my top 10 best sellers at markets. And then I'll also let you know what would have snuck in if we didn't have that cat market, because there are a couple of things that you will see that I pretty much only sold at that cat market. We'll go through those as well, so that if you're not doing cat specific markets, which I assume is the majority of you, you will also kind of know what else you can add to your market inventory if you want, and see how they go for you at your markets. Obviously, every market is different. Every market I did this year was different, and I'm obviously in one small little part of the world down here in Australia. So I know that people watch this from all over and things are going to be different everywhere you go. But this is my experience from 2025, and these were my top 10 best-selling items at markets. Unsurprisingly, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So number 10 on the list were my rat plushies. This is the only one that I have left. This is a pattern by QB Crochet, and I sold 6 of them throughout this year. And I think I really only started making them probably in the second half of the year. I maybe only had these at 2 or 3 markets. So they have gone very, very well for me at the markets that I've taken them to, and I will definitely be making more in 2026. Next up, coming in at number 9, and I'm sorry, this one is not actually crochet. At my last market, if you watched that market video, you will know that I took some mystery bags with me, which have some stationery items from an old small business that I was running, and I just wanted to kind of get rid of some of my old stock. So I put them into mystery bags. They had a notepad, a bookmark, a washi tape, and a vinyl sticker in them. And they went really well for me. I sold 7 of them in one market, and I also have sold a couple online since then because they are up on my website. That is those ones. I know it's not crochet, sorry, but it's in here anyway, and I will give you a couple of extra makeup items at the end for the crochet people who are watching this. When I was doing my giveaway, I also sent a couple of bookmarks from my old business to the giveaway winner, one of the giveaway winners, and they asked where they could buy some. So I might put up some of those bookmarks at a very discounted price up on my website soon. So by the time these videos come out, maybe they'll already be up there, just so that I can kind of move them on, because they have really been taking up space in our house. And if you've been around here for a while, you'll know that we are expecting a baby in 2026. So I'm going to need all the space I can get in this house, I think. So keep an eye out. There might be some stationery going up on the website. Next up, coming in at number 8. This one is not a surprise to me that is on our top 10 list, but I am surprised actually that it is this low down, and it is the Mabel chickens from Oak and Marlow. These little round chickens get so much attention every market I have. I sold 8 of them this year, and I genuinely thought that I had sold more because they just get a lot of attention when I'm at markets, and also people pick them up and say they're cute a lot. So I think in my head, maybe more of them actually got sold than they did, but also I think they tend to get relatively regular sales at the market. So throughout the day, people will pick them up and buy them. So because they're getting bought quite regularly, it feels like maybe more of them were sold than they were, but definitely not surprised that these are on the bestseller list. And I think that white chickens sold the best for me as well. This one obviously is not white. I have no white ones left in my inventory, which is why you're seeing this cute little tweed guy instead. But number 8. The chicken. Coming in at number 7, and this is one that I mostly only sold at the cat market, so I'll give you a freebie later for this one. That is our cat key rings. You may remember from my big cat market videos that I was making these. I made a lot of them. We sold 9 of them, and I've got 2 left. I suspect that if I had more black ones, I would have sold even more this year. Even at the last market I went to, which was not a cat market, people were asking if I had black ones in stock, and I hadn't made any more. I was just kind of trying to get rid of the few that I had left. So these cat key rings, they're a good one. I sell them for just $10. It is made, I know it looks like a small thing, but they're made in 2 pieces that are then seamed together to give it a little bit more like structure. That's why, even though it seems quite small, it's still $10 Australian, 10 Australian dollars. But that is the cat keyring. Coming in at number 6, and again, these have been popular since I started making them at markets and bringing them, and so I always make sure I have a lot when I go to markets these days, and it is the mushroom fidget toy. This one is a cable and canvas pattern. It's a free pattern here on YouTube, but because I do sell like quite a lot of them, I have got the paid pattern because I want to support the people who are making the patterns that are going well for me. So even when there are free ones available, if I sell kind of any at a market, I will go and buy the paid pattern to like give back to the creator who gave me the pattern that did well for me. So that is this one. The paid PDF also is great, obviously, because not everyone can work very well off a YouTube video. And if you're making a lot of them, you don't want to have to be watching the video all the time. So I do recommend getting the PDF pattern if you do markets, because they sell well, you'll get your money back, and you'll also get to like monetarily support Cable and Canvas, the creator of these. This was a very, very popular pattern this year. At the first market I ever took it to, which I think was the end of last year, they completely sold out, and I was standing at the market trying to make more of them because I hadn't known how they would go. So I always try and take quite a few now to markets. Like I'll always try and have at least 5 or 6 at a market, just so people have color choice and things like that as well. I sold 10 of them in the end, and that for me, I guess I should caveat this, I don't do a whole lot of markets. I'm not doing markets every weekend. I did 4 markets this year, so 10 sales across 4 markets is pretty good. And one of those was the 2-day cat market, where I hadn't really taken anything that wasn't cats. So realistically, I sold 10 of these across 3 market days. So I really recommend. Coming in at number 5, which we're halfway. And this is another one that I absolutely have not sold any outside the cat market, but they are cat hats. So they are these little hats. They have little holes to put the ears through and a little tie. I have had photos of people's cats wearing these hats. So before you ask, yes, people actually do use them when they buy them. And there is a very cute little Sphinx cat who now owns a couple of these. And if I can find the photos from her mum, I will put it up on the screen so you can see. But they keep her warm and she likes wearing clothes. So I just love that they got used. I had made some solid color like these ones, but also made some that were like, I made an egg one where it was like yellow in the center and then this ruffly bit was white. And they're just so cute. I really, really love people sending me photos of their cats in these hats. My cats personally, you have met them, Patty and Bango. They would not stand for it. Bango once very, very begrudgingly sat for about 10 seconds in one. I got one photo, but he does not look happy in it. And Patty, not even a chance. She just pulls it off her head immediately. You have to have a cat with the right temperament, I think, to get these cat hats. And unsurprisingly, I only sold them at the cat market. I didn't actually put them out at any other markets because, I don't know, they're a bit different. I usually am selling plushies, so I didn't want to then just randomly have like a hat for your cat out. But I do still have 2 left. Maybe I need to put them on my website just in case people out there want to buy hats for their cats. I did sell 12 of them though at the market, and I think since then I've sold 1 or 2 on my website. So go figure, cat hats. Who knew? All right, we are moving on to number 4. This one also cat related. However, I do sell them regularly at other markets, but I definitely think the numbers got bumped up by the cat market this year. And that is the Itty Bitty Kitty. This one is a pattern from Crochet Me Zaddy. He has a free version of the bunny, but the cat one is a paid pattern. I got to test this back when it was getting released and have loved it since then. It's a really good, cute, quick pattern. I sell them for 15 Australian dollars. They went really well for me at the cat market and also at other markets. I sold 15 of them in total this year across my 4 markets. And having said that, I've just realized that it's actually tied 3rd, because next up is my 3rd place. And that one, again, is not a surprise to me. I sell a lot of these at all of my markets, and they can be made in a lot of different types, a lot of different colors. And they are my mini Flocker keychains. Again, if you've been around here and watched my market videos, you will recognize these guys. I'm actually really surprised I still have this pigeon one, because I really thought this would have sold at my last market, but he didn't. I still have a pigeon and a cockatoo left. These guys, they're just the perfect make. They whip up quickly. They are perfect for a keychain. You can make all different types of birds on them. So kind of whatever bird. People might own like lorikeets or budgies or things like that. Not lorikeets, am I okay? People might own budgies, and definitely people have bought budgie colored ones from me that look like their bird. I also try to make some Australian birds, so I've made like regular sulfur-crested cockatoos and also black cockatoos in these. Crows and magpies go really well. So I have a lot of fun just getting to change the colors. It's a pattern that's gone well for me right from the start. I really, really recommend it. It is from Knots by Jack. I'm not sure if Knots by Jack is still active on social media, but you can definitely still get her patterns and they're really good. These are the mini flocker size, just to reiterate. She does also have little flockers, which are a bigger size. So mini flockers, also sold 15 of these at my markets this year. Coming in at number 2, and somewhat disappointingly, I don't have anything to show you for this one, but it is my claw machine plays. So these I sell for $10, again, Australian dollars, and it is like play until you win on the claw machine. These, I kind of put a variety of things in there. So I use the Claw Machine Buddies pattern from my friend Kelsey at Crochet with Kelsey, who is also a YouTuber. So go and check her out. And I also, this last market, made a couple of like little chicken drumstick looking things. That was a free pattern online. I will put the designer on the screen because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But they went really quickly and I was thinking that I should have made more of them. So those were really good in the claw machine too. And also my pocket whales I put in there. Typically I will put the pocket whales in once my other smaller items have sold out and I need to replenish it. I just kind of take from the pocket whale basket and put them in because they are ever so slightly too big for my machine's little like gap where the toy falls through. They're really fun. They always catch people's eye. The only market I didn't have it at was the cat market because I just didn't have space on the table. I think I didn't have it at 2 of my 4 markets this year. I didn't take it to the cat market and I also didn't take it to the Gledswood market that I did, which was like outdoors, and I just wasn't sure what the weather was going to be like and I didn't want to risk having something that was like electronic on the table. That was just from 2 markets. It was the second bestseller and I sold 19 of them this year. So really recommend, worth getting a claw machine, I think. It's definitely paid for itself and I'm at the point where I'm wondering if I should try and get one that has like a slightly bigger gap so I can put more variety in them at future markets. But I'm going to hold off on that because I'm not sure how many markets I'm going to get to do in 2026. I hope I can still do some, but our world's about to kind of turn upside down from April, so who knows? All right, we are at number 1, and I've got to be honest, guys, I don't think you're going to get any prizes for guessing what my bestseller of this year was, but of course it was the Loaf Cat. That's his little butt. The Loaf Cat. This is the middle size that I make, the kitten size. I sold by far the most of the mini size and they sold at every single different market that I had. So I am still keeping them as my top seller regardless of the cat market. Definitely the cat market bumped the numbers up. They were like the top seller I had by a huge margin at every size. The minis definitely like sell so much regardless that they would have been my bestseller even without the cat market. In total, I sold 63 cats across the 3 different sizes. They did sell unit-wise, basically in order from smallest to largest. So of the minis, I sold 34. Of this kitten size, I sold 15. And of my larger size, I sold 14. I will say outside of that big 2-day cat market that I did, the cat and kitten size don't sell as many, mostly just the minis, but I also wasn't making as many to take to those markets. So there wasn't as much choice in the larger sizes. Potentially, if people had been able to see a cat that looked like theirs in the larger sizes, they would have bought them. I did also sell a few of these on my website and through custom orders after the cat market and, you know, just through social media since then. So even outside of markets, these would have been my bestseller. And I really love making them, to be honest. I also think it's a great way to use up this blanket yarn that I have sitting in front of me. Every time I'm filming these, I'm just staring at a whole wall of blanket yarn that I kind of need to get rid of. So I probably will be making more of these and I will keep taking them to markets as well. Recommend this pattern. You will have seen it, I'm sure. If you have been around the crochet world at all, you will know all about the Loaf Cat from Annie Caraway Art, but I'm just gonna add a voice saying that yes, they do sell well. So those are my top 10 sellers overall for 2025. And I did promise you that I would give you a couple of bonus ones because the cat hat and the cat keyrings like don't really count. They do, but they were exclusively almost for the cat market. The other bestsellers that I had, or the ones that kind of just didn't sneak into the top 10 that also aren't cat related, because number 11 and 12 of my bestsellers were like my cat ear beanies and the cat bag charms that I sell. So again, those are mostly cat related. I mostly sold those at the cat market. So I'm not going to give you those because that wouldn't be fair. But the next bestseller, which is wild to me because, again, I only made these for my very last market of the year, and I'm kind of convinced that these would have been a really, really good seller if I had made them at all of the markets that I had, but they were my little chicks in hats. I sold out of them, so I have none to show you. They're so much fun to make. They're really, really quick. I was just selling them, I think, for like 15 Australian dollars, and the frog ones were definitely the favorites, but I also did some modifications where I did one that just had like a strawberry hat and a blueberry hat, and people loved them. I think these would go really well in mystery boxes as well. If you do mystery boxes at your markets, you could make chicks with different kinds of hats, and that one was a completely free pattern. I will put the designer on the screen because, again, because I've only made them for one market, it's not quite sticking in my head. I think it might be Aki's Plushies who did like an English language version of the original pattern, which was maybe in Russian. I don't know. I'm stretching my memory here. It's pretty early in the morning on a Saturday during my work holidays. So the brain's shut off, guys. But it is definitely a pattern that I recommend, and I am excited to make more of them for future markets. So put it on the list. Put it on the list if you're a market maker. The next one, again, was a cat related one. The headphone ears that I had made for the cat market. I had also sold them like as customs, and also I sold another pair at the latest market that I did. So they do sell generally anyway. I think people like having something a little bit different that's at the store that they can look at, that they can buy. And it is more of like a decorative accessory as opposed to like a plushie, which, even though plushies are for all ages and anyone can have them, people do see plushies as like more of a thing for like kids. Whereas having some things like these headphone cat ears, I think kind of help draw more people into the stall and like have a look. Doesn't count because I mostly sold them at the cat market. So I'll give you another one. And that is my leggy frogs. So again, not an overly groundbreaking pattern to be adding to your list because I know a lot of people make leggy froggies. I stopped making these actually just because I had a period where they weren't really selling, and then when I was at the cat market, I was like, day one of the cat market had gone so well, I was like, I need to bring some extra stuff to this market to fill out my table, and I don't have cats, so I'll bring the things that I kind of want to try and like get rid of a little bit. So I brought a bunch of leggy froggies to that, and they sold really well at that market, strangely enough. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of center of a Venn diagram of cat lovers and frog lovers, and those people were at that market, but leggy froggies did do well for me. I probably still won't continue making them because just, I think a lot of people make them. It might be something that like every so often I'll make a few and put them out and see how they do at a market, but I don't think I'll be making heaps of them anymore. I made way too many the first time I made them, and they just kind of sat around for, like, it took probably a year to actually sell all the ones I had originally made, but they did go relatively well for me. They were in my top 15 patterns. Honestly, after that, all of the item sales are kind of like 4, 3, 2, 1 a piece because I don't typically like make heaps and heaps and heaps of stock of one thing for one market. And also, like I said, I only did 4 markets this year, one of which was a 2-day purely cat market. So I think if I did more markets, I might like bulk prep a few more things, but that's just not the situation that I'm in with doing markets. So those are the ones that are like worth mentioning because they sold like quite a few of each type. If you do markets, I would love to hear what your like bestsellers are. I do really like watching market videos, even though I don't do heaps of them. I just kind of like the community aspect of doing a market. I like being able to meet the people who are like buying things or just hearing what people think of the stuff that I make. I always think markets are a really nice way to just connect with people, and I do hope that I can do some more in 2026. I'm going to try and book in for a couple like early in the year if I can get into them, because here you need to apply for a lot of markets that you book into. So who knows? I definitely applied for more last year than I actually got to do. Maybe 2026, I will try and do some at the start of the year before baby comes and then see what happens. Honestly, I'm not making any promises to myself or to anyone else about how I'm going to feel after that. That is the market bestsellers. And very quickly, I will just also let you know my pattern bestsellers of 2025 as well. I did release a few patterns this year, and I don't have like heaps of them. I would really like to do more pattern designing. Maybe that will be a goal of 2026. I don't know, but these are the ones that I sold the most of in 2025. I won't give you numbers for these. I'll just kind of let you know the ranking, I guess. I only really have like 4 paid patterns. So starting at number 4, I guess, is this fruit blob pattern. This is a free one on YouTube actually to make this specific watermelon, but I do also have a paid version that has a whole bunch of different fruits in it. So there's like, I think, I don't know, 6 or 8 or I don't know, some number of modifications in that. I really should know that at the top of my head, but I do not, sorry. But this was the 4th bestseller of this year, and they make really good keychains. They're also good market makes. I did sell a few of them, but I just have them kind of bulked into general $12 keyrings. So I didn't get the breakdown of these specifically versus other keyrings that I have. The next bestseller, or the 3rd bestseller of the year, was my Blob Bunny. This is, I think it's a really cute pattern. He has a little cotton tail, and now that I finally have some fur yarn in my stash, I think I need to make another one of these with a furry tail. Some of my testers made some really cool bunnies when I was running that test, and they made them with fluffy yarn and they just looked so cool, but I had none in my stash at the time. So I definitely want to make a few more of these in 2026 and try different kinds of yarn with it as well. But this is Blob Bunny. It also comes with like floppy eared version, so you can do either one. This is also completely no-sew, so just in case you're looking for something to buy, you know. My second best-selling pattern of 2025 was my little Clive the Cassowary pattern, which also comes with an emu mod, and the emu is the only one I have on hand with me. I have sold all of the cassowaries. This is the last guy standing. These are, again, completely no-sew. I originally made the cassowary pattern when I was playing Frisbee on a team called the Australian Cassowaries, which is our mixed masters team over in America last year. And I made a whole bunch of them to give out as like prizes at the end of each game. And I just decided that I would make a pattern for it, because when I was originally having that idea to make a little cassowary toy to give out, there was like none anywhere that I could find. So I made one myself, and then I was like, well, I've made like 12 of these now. I may as well write the pattern and get it tested and put it out into the world. So I am really happy that these sold as many as they did this year, because they just have a very special place in my heart. I know this is a little emu. He's also very cute, but the cassowary has my true heart. I know they're a bit of a strange animal. They are Australian animals, but if you are Aussie and you want a little Aussie bird to gift someone, they do get quite a few comments at my markets, and as I said, all of the extra cassowaries I had sold at my markets, but that's the second bestseller of this year. And finally, this is the pattern that I by far sold the most of in 2025, and it is my little blob cat pattern. I have made these in so many different colors and different, you know, versions and patchworks and things like that. The only thing you need to sew on is the ears. Does have a little tail as well, of course. This was my bestseller of 2025, and I'm really happy about it. This was the first kind of big pattern that I wrote. I mean, I say big, it's not that big. The first not like tiny little no-sew thing that I had written and actually kind of put out there for testing in the world. So I'm really happy with him, and I'm really happy that you guys like him and wanted to buy the pattern as well. So thank you for the support. That is going to wrap this video up. I hope you found it interesting seeing what did well for me this year, and I hope that maybe you got some ideas if you are a crocheter and you are looking for patterns, or a market maker and looking for things to sell at markets. I hope some of this helped you out. I would love to know if you are going to try any of these patterns. Let me know in the comments down below. And also, I'm just wishing you a really, really happy 2026. We have come to the end of 2025. It has been a wild year, I think, on all counts, and there's been highs, there's been lows, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for spending time with me this year. Whether you are new to the channel or you have been here since the start, I really appreciate this little community that we've built, and I really love hanging out with you guys virtually here on my channel. So thank you so much for being a part of that. It has been a very fulfilling year for me in terms of crochet and content. I've just really enjoyed being able to connect with so many of you. So again, thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful start to 2026. I hope you have a beautiful holiday period. I hope you do get some time off to rest and relax and recuperate. Spend some time with some yarn or some people you love, whatever, however you're spending this period of time. I really hope that it is a nice, restorative, kind of break before we hit 2026, which I'm sure will be another big year. Thanks so much for being here. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. And if you are new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel. And honestly, it's just like some nice external validation for me, which I live for. So, you know, what a way to end 2025. All right, I've had enough talking for today. Clearly, I will see you in the next video. Have a great end to 2025. Bye.